the public guardian in Santa Clara County is locking up little old ladies, taking their estates, and not letting these people see their families. And this is the case with Giselle Riordan, who's right down the street from me. There have always been thieves who will steal money from vulnerable people, and as long as we have money as a system of the way we conduct business with each other, there will continue to be thieves who will steal money. In Giselle's case, this is a public guardian who is doing this. My tax dollars as a resident of Santa Clara County are paying the salaries for the people who are doing the very same thing to Giselle Riordan. I actually got in to see Giselle. Since she's local, I figured I would just jump in and see what I could pull off.
Right.
And I did. In April, I managed to get in to see her for 4 days. The facility just assumed I was with the public guardian's office. They didn't ask me who I was from. I didn't volunteer any information. And I did get in to see her. She does not have advanced dementia. She knows full well what's going on. She's incredibly lonely. She clutched my arm and sobbed onto my shoulder about missing her children. She begged me to come visit her again. Then on May 1st, the facility finally figured out that I was not with the public guardian's office. They ordered me off the property, told me not to come back. But I was there long enough to find out that Giselle doesn't have her dentures. She needs new eyeglasses. Her hearing aid is kept locked up at the nurse's station so that the battery doesn't run down. And,
oh, my.
Yes. And she's lost about a third of her body weight. Her son has given me photos of her showing a very sturdy, healthy-looking woman who was active, world traveler, very much an outdoors, going places kind of person. And when I saw her, what came to mind was Holocaust survivors. Her arms are bone thin. Her face is sunken. She's wasting away. And like I did with my mom, I filed complaints with the Long-Term Care Ombudsman, Communicare Licensing. Licensing is still investigating. As of Friday, they were still investigating, and Giselle is still not allowed visitors. When they wanted to take her from her home, they locked down the estate. They put her in this facility, then sold her house. She had a home in Santa Clara County, which we all know is fairly expensive real estate. They sold her home. They're now using her own estate to pay for keeping her locked up and away from her children. And like I said, my tax dollars are paying the salaries of the people who are doing this.
And she's financing her own captivity.
You got it.
Yeah, and that's what this is. And people need to understand this is exactly what this is, forced captivity.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Then you're to finance if you have any assets, which these people generally do. If it isn't liquid assets or material assets in the sense that Linda is speaking about her mother, where there was a home and other things involved, they milk Medicare and Medicaid, and Medicare gets bilked, according to the GAO, $5.4 billion, that's with a B, a year just on elder abuse.
It is well known by the federal and state governments, and the GAO has issued a report since 2000 every year about the fraud being perpetrated under the guise of guardianship. And I think what people need to understand is that when you're put under a guardianship, or it may be called conservatorship in your state, you become a ward of the state, and as such, you are dead in the law. Every state has dead man statutes. And this means that you cannot speak to the court, you cannot speak for yourself, you have to have someone else speak for you, you have no rights. The minute you become a ward of the state under guardianship or conservatorship, or even as a foster child, you lose all your rights, everything, and you become chattel property. And what we've seen happen is that people have been targeted in every state who have large estates. They're elderly in most cases, not always, but elderly in most cases. They have a lot of assets. They're targeted. They wait for them to come into the system. They might slip and fall at home. They
sure.
might become ill with the flu and go to the hospital, and suddenly a predatory guardian appears out of nowhere because their contact at the hospital called and flagged this patient.
It's almost like ambulance chasing.
Yes, it is. And these people work and do this constantly, and you'll see the same judge working with the same attorneys, with the same predatory guardians, with the same social service personnel, the same nursing homes over and over and over again.
I was in the process of getting kicked out of Villa Fontana when they figured out that I was not with the public guardian's office, and the girl who was in charge that evening showed up with 4 guys in tow, showed up in Giselle's room, and you have to leave now. I was like, okay, I'm coming. So, but before I left, I took her to the poster in the lobby that listed the residents' rights, and I showed these rights to her. And she says, well, Giselle doesn't have the right to make decisions for herself. Well,
that isn't what it says.
That's not what it says. And then, of course, I got accused of creating a disturbance, and they threatened to call the police and so on. But, you know, this is what happens. But then if we go to the conservatee's rights, so before I was discussing the rights of residents in facilities. If someone moves into assisted living, these rights are posted on the wall of that facility. They're not honored, but they are posted on the wall. But now if we go to the conservatee's rights, and these apply to both cases, my mom is conserved in San Bernardino County, and she has a private temporary conservator who is her step-granddaughter who was involved in abducting her. Giselle is conserved in Santa Clara County. She's a conservatee of the public guardian. If we look at the Notice of Conservatee's Rights, and this is another document that's on the Internet, it is Form GC-341. It's a California court document, Notice of Conservatee's Rights. On the second page, it says, unless the court has limited or taken the right away, the conservatee keeps the right to receive visits from family and friends. Now, in neither case has the court taken away the right to have visits. In my mom's case, they did not take away her rights to have visits, and in fact, we had to get orders for her to have visits. In Giselle's case, the public guardian did request and obtain an order that the public guardian can manage visits with her 2 children. There are no orders regarding visitation with anyone from the community. So an advocate like me, one of her friends, one of her neighbors, clergy, just anyone who would happen to want to go visit her should be able to visit her provided she wants to see that person.